Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing an unboxing of Nemesis Retaliation. This is the special edition. Let's get rolling. Alright, welcome to Table for One, and on this video I will be unboxing Nemesis Retaliation. I believe this is the special edition box. We're going to find out once I get it open, but this was sent to me by Awaken Realms. So I'm going to start getting the plastic wrap off of this thing while I talk, but I want to talk a bit about how I ended up with this box. So I had followed this campaign on crowdfunding for Nemesis Retaliation for a while, and I ended up deciding not to personally back it. And I made that decision because I already had like everything Nemesis so far through lockdown. I've got all the stretch goals and all the, not literally everything, but like all the gameplay content. I'm not much into miniatures myself. So there's like, I didn't have the King mini packs or the terrain packs or some of those things, but I've got a ton of Nemesis content. And I figured, you know, it's taking up a lot of space and I don't need a third Nemesis game. That was my thinking at the time. And then I started making my Nemesis series on this channel, which, of course, I've got a bunch of Nemesis content. It includes solo playthroughs and how to play videos. And Awaken Realms took notice of those videos and said, hey, you're doing a lot of great stuff with Nemesis. Would you like a copy of Retaliation? And so I didn't really want to say no to that because I did follow the campaign. I was interested in it. I just felt like I had so much Nemesis content already. I wasn't sure how much I was going to get it played. But since they agreed to send it to me, I've been doing a little bit more looking, and I still think I have more than enough Nemesis content, really, in my collection. But now I'm wondering, because this one is very different from the previous two games, I'm thinking I might keep this and offload Lockdown. I'm not certain on that yet, but I'm really interested in playing this. So I'm definitely going to get on this channel a rules video for how to play a solo game of Nemesis Retaliation, and I will do at least one solo playthrough, and I might do more. I might continue with a whole series on Nemesis Retaliation because I'm really curious. This is going to be super different than the other games. If Nemesis is pardon the analogy, but like everybody this is not a fresh take, right? Nemesis is very similar to like the Alien franchise. It's got some similarities. And so if Nemesis is like Alien, Nemesis Lockdown is kind of also like Alien. There's a lot of similarities, and this is the game that is finally like Aliens, where you've got some firepower. You are professional space marines going in and taking the fight to the intruders. So here's the box. Great artwork on the sides. Similar to the other games in the series. No surprise there, but it looks really cool. So these are some of the playable characters, I believe. So really nice. Inside is just black. And so like I said, I believe this is the special edition or what I would call a deluxe edition. I think the only difference between the two editions is, do you have cardboard standees or do you have minis? And I'm pretty sure the back of this box said minis. So in fact, yes, minis. Okay, so this is the version with the minis. But otherwise, all the gameplay stuff should be the same. So let's start with this rulebook. This is the footprint of this rulebook. You'll notice compared to the box, or even compared to these reminder cards here, is smaller. So they've made the rulebook smaller, and I think I like that. I think the other ones were fairly large, and this is a game where I need to flip through the rulebook a lot while I play. So this smaller page format is kind of nice. We've got our standard size cards. Look, there's a lot of those. A bunch of small cards, maybe even more small ones. There is Learn the Rules with Video Tutorial. I'd be curious to check that out. I wonder if they go into the solo rules as well. A lot of times those videos don't. But then we've got our main components. standees/models. It says, note, depending on your version of the game, you will find either miniatures or standees in your box. Regardless of the version, they will be referred to as models. Okay, so this is what you can expect in the standard box. This is what I'm going to have in this box. It's interesting. I don't really have a strong opinion either way, but that the deluxe version does not come with these standees. It's one or the other. A lot of times deluxe or special versions will have minis and other components in addition to the base game components, which sometimes can be nice depending on what you want to play with, and you can mix and match some of those things then, but in other times it's generally just wasteful because people are only going to use one version or another. So I'm pretty okay with that decision overall. And we've got a bunch of tokens here. Many of these are familiar to me from other Nemesis games, but some of them are not. More of these models here. Okay. Here's the introduction, end game overview. So how does this thing end? Winning and losing. That's good to know. Setup. So setup is super different in this game compared to other Nemesis games because you are building out the map instead of having like a fixed ship where or Mars base where there are places to put tiles. The layout of this will change from play to play. So that's a really interesting new take. This is cool. So on your player board, there's some sort of dial on it. I guess I'll be assembling that. It doesn't look super hard to assemble, but I'll do that. That's pretty cool. And what else have we got here? Round structure, player phase. I'm not going to read the whole book now. It's a fairly extensive book. So this is the potential layout of the map, section A, B, and C. Curious to learn more about this. Characters' health and wounds. We've got health, injured, and heavily injured. So mechanically looks a little bit different. Oh, we're slotting cards into those spaces. That's cool. I've seen that mechanic in, well, you can use that sort of mechanic in a lot of games, but specifically just the way the card lays on top of the cube spaces. That reminds me of Under Our Sun, which I've also got videos for on this channel. So these hexagonal tiles here, and these, I guess these are the corridors. You can see they clip together to build your map out. So that's really interesting. I kind of knew that was how it was going to work, but it's cool to see what the final pieces look like and just mechanically how you're building this map. So that's nice that everything will stay together on the table. I see character movement, noise rolls. So that key mechanic is still in the game. Character movement examples. These are nice, big, clear examples. I like that. Items, all sorts of items. Looks like we've got new artwork, which is nice. You know, duct tape's a familiar item, but that's new art. Intruders. Oh, these are the tokens. Queen, drone, adult, larva. I wonder if we're still doing like an intruder bag mechanism. Cool artwork in here. Oh, and I'm really slow, but it's now I'm seeing down the right side of this page here, it tells you like what section you're in. So that can help you more quickly flip through to find the thing you need. That's great. That's a really simple quality of life improvement for the rulebook. I like that a lot. Procedures, end of the game, objectives, and mission task. That's it. So 40 pages, including the back. And we have an additional mode here, deadly mode. I find that every game of Nemesis is deadly mode, but apparently it's its own special extra deadly mode here. And solo and co-op rules. This is very small. This is a really small subset of rules to play solo and co-op. So that's, I guess, appreciated. We'll see how it works. I've still got to learn it and play it. But low additional rules overhead is greatly appreciated. They've got a glossary of icons here, so quick reference. So that's a rule book. That looks pretty good, but it is thick. That's a dense rule book, so there's a lot to learn there. We've got our helper sheet for these are the different types of rooms. I'm sure, yeah, this is double-sided. A rooms, B rooms, and C rooms. I'm not really sure what any of that means yet, but it looks nicely organized. These must be some sort of special rooms as opposed to these columns. I'm not sure. What else do we have? Objectives help sheet. So game terms, fulfilled, survivor, escape, data token, facility destruction, queen is dead, nest is destroyed. So definitions for these terms. Having not read any of those definitions yet, just seeing that that's there, I think is a huge improvement on some of the previous Nemesis games, because I've had a hard time sometimes with like edge cases in the rulebook, and this tells me that things are clearly defined. So I'm excited for that. That seems like a nice quality of life improvement as well. So we've got all our objectives here, and then more game turn. Oh, these are the same game terms, and I'm not sure what's going on here. This might be examples or just more help. I don't know. That's cool though. We've got this tile here, and these are all the same material. They're like a card stock. The queen is alive, so we've got how to resolve things, and then flip it over. Yep, the queen is dead, and how to resolve these various things. So again, it's nice to have some reminders on the table. That means less flipping through the rule book while I play, even though the rule book appears to be easier to flip through. Then we've got all of our cardboard punch-outs, so I'll get to these a bit later. And let's go back to the box here, and I'd like to empty it just so I can, well, maybe I can tilt. I mean, the artwork on the sides here is really cool too, and it looks like every side has unique artwork, just like the top of the box. I'll see if I can empty this so I can show you. Let's take this lid off. Okay, so it's not taped down, but I've seen that style of lid before, and it is helpful to keep all this stuff in place. So we've got a ton of minis in here. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I mean, I generally know that they're these are the bad guys, but I don't know the names of all the different types. This does appear to be the queen, though. Really nice sculpt. I think you could order these even in the special edition. I think you can order them in just gray if you want to paint them. These appear to be sun dropped with like a pretty dark green, like a dark forest green. And I like it because I never paint my minis. And so they're going to be sad and gray unless they come with some sort of pre-wash. And this looks really good. This is, man, I'm like not that into minis in general, but this looks fantastic. The detail's really good. I'm really excited that there's a pre-wash on there. So that's pretty cool. These are really detailed. I don't even know what this thing is, but definitely wants to eat me. Yeah, great detail on these. I mean, there's a lot of like little claws and tentacles and stuff coming off that seem, to my in my uneducated opinion, seem difficult to manufacture. They look like they came out really good. This thing is a bit bigger. Still really cool. And this thing, is this the same or is this an alternate? Yeah, I think this is a slightly different pose for the same thing. Oh yeah, it's got his claws out. He's coming at you. These look really cool. I'm excited to learn more. And then these, I assume, are going to be our characters. This looks, I was going to say very much like the captain from the original Nemesis with these two things coming up over the top here, but looking a little bit more closely, it's clearly not the captain, but you know, it's clearly from the same universe too, for whatever that tech is, they've all got it. These guys look pretty cool too. So we've got like a really dark gray wash on these, so they're still gray. I don't know that it comes through on camera. I'm not really set up to like show all the detail on minis because that's not really what my main goal is. But the wash, the pre-wash on these does add a lot of contrast, and at least in person, I can see that these are definitely pre-washed, and it looks better than it would if it was completely unpainted. I don't know what this stuff is. What in the world is this thing? Oh, these are some sort of robot. You put the two pieces together. I wonder if there's a gameplay mechanic around putting those pieces together, or if it's just for storage purposes, or like, do you need to find the two pieces and assemble it? That's interesting. I don't remember seeing anything like that before. But again, I'm not an expert on minis. What else have we got? Oh, we got just bags and bags of minis here. Okay. These guys are smaller. These are like larvae of some sort. And we've got our player bases here: red, orange, white, purple, dark blue, and pink. So familiar colors from the game before. or from the previous 2 games. Let's set this whole tray aside for now, and let's go down to the next layer of this box. So this is a lid for something. This is like sort of a lid for this part of the layer beneath it. Good luck if I'm trying to put this all back together at the end. But these are, oh, that's cool. So these are the player boards, but unlike previous installments, these have to go a specific way. Okay. Unlike previous installments, this board is universal, and you somehow slot your character in here. That's pretty cool. And then you've got slots here on the sides, a backpack. You've still got left hand and right hand. I like that mechanic. Action cards discard. I think this is where that dial goes. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, these are multi-layered here. So you can put cubes there, but then there's an indent to hold cards as well. And I guess if you get more and more injured, you're eventually dead. Okay, those are really cool. How many are these? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 of those. Nice tray where this is, never mind. I was going to say this is really easy to get out with your finger, but I think that's a cutout for where that dial's going to go. So maybe it'll be a little, I guess there's a cutout here in the middle, so you can still get them out. Okay, I'm going to set this to the side now. And what is this layer? Boy, there's a lot going on here. I think I can take this whole insert out. We're going to try anyway. And then we'll have an empty box. We kind of go through this all together. My box did get a little beat up in one corner in transit, but I think everything's okay. You can kind of see it. If I can get any light in there. Well, I can see it anyway. Yeah, it's kind of dinged. That's okay. Box is black on the inside. Let's look at the artwork on the sides, though, because it's pretty cool. Just to give you some flavor of what it's like to play this game, I like that one. I like the really extreme color differences from one side to the next. Here's what the back of the box looks like. And so again, this says 50 plus high quality miniatures. And I think if you had the standard edition, it would be 50 plus high quality punch outs, standees, something like that. So here's the box. I'll set this aside. And this is the bottom layer, which is like multi-layer. So this is its own thing that sits here. What's jingling in there? Oh, these are the standee bases. Okay. That's what's in there. Here are some familiar tokens, it looks like. So we've got our malfunction tokens. What else have we got? Our fire tokens, noise tokens. These look maybe like a slightly larger and reimagined piece, these malfunction ones, but it's very similar to the original. Noise tokens look to be the same. These are, I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me if this is a slightly bigger fire token, but these look largely the same. Here's our damage markers, our first player token. A joke never gets old. We've got some dice. They're a little bit different this time. These are not the same ones as the first couple Nemesis games. So a couple red D8s. Let's see, this goes from, it's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and then some sort of like ammo and some sort of damage or skull. And this one appears to be the same. Okay, so 2 of those. Some D6s that are purple. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 1, 1. All right, 3 1s. A 2, a 3, and a 4 with some sort of target symbol around it. And then what are these? These are D10s. What's on here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Some sort of alien symbol, it seems to be. And then 2, 3, 4, 4, and that same symbol again. Okay, so a little bit different in the dice department. Those look really nice, though. They're translucent. I like the colors. Like an amber, a bright red, and a purple. Really clear and easy to read. Even the yellow's pretty good. I don't know if that all shows up on camera. The purple's the easiest to read by far, but those are all really good. What else we got in here? Kind of goodies. just one of these clear markers now, so that must be the round marker. These are the pieces to assemble the player boards. Maybe I'll set those aside. I didn't see any dials. Oh, they're probably punch outs. And then we still have this mechanic, the infection checker. So you put your contamination card in there and check for infection. This is a really cool mechanic. So I've got 3 of these now, but I'll set this to the side. Cool, cool. What else have we got? This tray is empty. This is maybe to store all these resources or all these tokens. Let's see if it's taped down. Sometimes these are taped down. Nope. Okay. I got a little bit dinged on one side, but functional. This will do its job. It's better than having nothing for sure. And then in here, oh, we've got a draw bag. This is Nemesis. This one is a little bit better than the old ones. It doesn't seem to have a lot more volume, but it's definitely wider. I had a hard time kind of getting my hand in the other one. And it's sort of a roundish bottom. So I guess in theory it'll stand up like that. I don't know if it needs to, but okay. So there's a tray or a little spot for that. What are these guys? Oh, these are the little card stands for the players. So you're numbered, you're player number 5, you're player number 1, your secret goal is to make sure player 4 doesn't survive, that sort of thing. So that's pretty nice. It's got a little track in there to hold your cards, but yeah, they redesigned these, and I don't use them very often because I generally play solo or fully co-op. So we don't really need to know who is what player number because we're not playing with those goals. But these are nice stands regardless. So we'll put that here, something like that. And then we seem to have a bunch of cards back here with slots for them. All of my Nemesis stuff, both the base game and Lockdown and all the expansions, it's all sleeved. So I suppose I'm keeping this. I'm sleeving this too. It looks like it's got room for that. They typically take that into account. So we've got a couple big decks of small cards. This one says Robot. These are Queen Health. Prime Blood. I think that's what this enemy type is. We've got some items here. So some small cards, some big cards. Hey, are action cards. Those are familiar. These are probably SOOP and co-op mission tasks. Exploration, Prime Blood deck. Okay, so there's our cards. So this is the part of the video where I'm going to time lapse it. So I'm going to go through all this stuff, sort through it, organize, and then come back, give you some impressions on what I found. Hey, look, another first player token and a standee. What else is in there? I'm going to go through all this stuff and get it figured out. And then once I do, I'll come back. I'll give you my first impressions, sort of go through some of the components again, put it all back in the box, and then we'll call it a day. So here we go. So I am back. It's been a little bit of a comedy of errors getting this all together. I had some difficulty trying to kind of rebox it, so I'm going to show you what I figured out, and I'll be honest with you about some of the things that I have not been able to figure out. But there's also some cool stuff that I didn't fully appreciate before I took all this stuff apart, so I want to point out some neat things too. So I've got all the cards in here. They're not sleeved, of course, so the smaller cards are here. One thing about the smaller cards, which was pretty cool. There's all types of cards here. I don't want to spill them because I've kind of got them in order here. Here we go. But Serious Wounds are now small cards. They were big cards previously in Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown. And I think this is what probably slots here. Oh yeah, and it's got little X's to say your cubes don't go there now. That's really cool. I like that the Serious Wound cards were reduced in size. It just helps with the footprint a little bit. Take this out. So I would probably have to find a different way to box all this stuff up if I sleeved it, but it looks to me like there's enough room in this standard insert to sleeve it. So I've got this here, and this little bag, this is the one that the dice came in. I left the dice in here and then added the round tracker into that bag as well, and I just placed it here to keep these cards from sliding around too much. Then, again, there's plenty of room here for these big cards. I laid this set down because they were going to fall down anyway. These are the action cards for each player, so 10 cards per character. You can see they're kind of color-coded. So I took those and just laid them face down here for the time being. And then the other cards, don't drop them, please. These exploration cards look pretty cool. I don't know how to play the game yet, but looks like you flip it over and it helps you build out the map a little bit and tells you some of the stuff going on around you. So that looks like a cool mechanic. We've got event cards, attack cards. Am I skipping anything? No. Contamination cards. If you're familiar with Nemesis at all, you know what those are. We've got our mission tasks and objectives, solo, co-op tasks, our helper cards for each player, and drafting cards to draft your characters. Let's take a look at those real quick. So there is an officer. There is a combat engineer, recon, a heavy gun operator, a contractor, and medical support. The medical support's cool because we saw the little pink, can't see it, the little ring there for the mini, and that was only used previously for the medic character. So it's medical support is kind of another medic. So that's neat. These are the characters you can play as. They've got some sort of stats on them here. I don't really know what those stats mean at this time, but I'll find out and let you know. So let's put these horizontally back in here. There we go. What else? We've got our bag here. We've got our sort of medium-sized cardboard components here. So some sort of like suffocating token. We've got anti-aircraft tokens, things of that size. All of these cardboard standee door tokens are all here in this little compartment. There's a few other odd ends. This has to do with the hibernatorium, I think. This has to do, I don't know if that's I don't know what that is. But tokens of that size fit in this little slot. In this big circular tray, this is where these, I guess, are the rooms. So all of these fit in here. These are the corridors. They're numbered. On the back, they're 0, and then on the front, they're 1 through 4. They all basically look the same, though, and so those fit sort of standing upright in this space here. In this large space, what I ended up doing, I don't know if this is right or intended, but I've got the 6 playable characters. 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, playable characters. And then the contamination checker. Put that there so that the red face of it is sort of facing inward so it gets protected. And those go here. What else did I do? What did I end up landing on? Since I had space here, I took the standee bases, which are good for the doors, for example. I took those and I put them all in a plastic bag. The plastic baggie came, I think a lot of these minis were in plastic baggies. So I reused one for those, and I reused another plastic bag for all of these tokens for the prime bloods, but the intruders. And for now, I'm going to put them here, but you could also, there's some space here. I think that's where I had them originally. This is what I ended up doing, though. These pieces were really difficult to get in there. There is a method to it, and I'm still not convinced I know what it is. But if you look at it from the top, you can see the feet on the front face stick out much more than the front on the back face. That's how it appears to me anyway. And they're a little more inward. I take those front-facing ones on the top layer and place them against this wall that is closest to this circular piece and place it in there somewhere. And that seems to get this low enough to be able to put the other components on top. We have this tray here for token type components. And so you can see, I put the malfunction markers, noise tokens, fire markers, damage markers here. The rest of these are cardboard punch-outs. So in this one, there were 5 eggs. 5 of these where they look like little microchips. I think they were technology or something. And then 2 one-off cardboard tokens. I don't know what they are, but I put those in this tray. Then there were 20 each of these green, yellow, red, and purple tokens. I don't know what they do, but I gave each of them their own bay. And then 20 of these, which I think were secure tokens. They kind of look like a little shield. So that's what I put in these spaces. That seemed like the right things to put there. That seemed like the intent. So that whole thing sits here. And so that's why you want this card holder tray, the top one, to have its feet against this wall that's closest to me, not the other way, because I think they would stick up too much for this to be able to sit correctly in its space, and then kind of it's an additive problem as you continue putting things up here. So the next level is this tray here. It's kind of a lid. It sits on here. So here there are 2 of these player trays, and here there are 3. And I'm confident that's where they go because they've got the little cutout for the wheel, if you remember. Let me talk about that for a second. So I assembled them. They went together fine, but some of these spin pretty loose. So they don't like hold your spot very, secure. So just be mindful of that as you're playing. Maybe yours will sit better than mine did, but it was pretty consistent that they all spun pretty freely. I would have liked it if it was a little bit tighter. But as long as you're gentle with it, it should do what it needs to do. So there's 2 of these here, 3 of them on this side. I had these 2 larger tokens. I think at one point I had them down here with the little character pieces and the contamination checker, but there's an undiscovered hibernatorium piece, and this is the first player token, I assume, this space platypus it looks like. There's a little spot here, and I don't know what's supposed to go there, so that's where I put those. And then I'm not really sure where all these pieces go. Let me show you what these are in case you don't know. This is like the edge of the map. So you can see they kind of puzzle piece together. This is north, and then this is next, I think. We've got section A, and then section B, and section C, and you kind of build off of this. So you've got like the hibernatorium's always here. A is always here. It's the landing zone, so you kind of know how to get there, but you don't know what's going to be in between. You kind of build things out. This fits. It can't fit on screen right now, but at the bottom of here. So that kind of gives you the dimensions, of where you're building. So you've got all these pieces anyway, and I couldn't figure out where exactly to put them in the box, but I noticed this cutout here looks very much made for this. So if this goes here, then I suppose all the rest of these also go in this spot, in this layer. Now that I've added these dials, these kind of sit a little bit higher. I feel like I'm missing something here. So this very much may not be the correct way to store these, but I don't know what the correct way is. So this is what I'm doing for now, and it's working okay. So I'm just going to do that. That seems to be good enough. And then there's this layer here. I did want to talk about these minis actually a little bit more because I didn't realize what was going on. So we've got the one queen. We got 6 of these larvae, which are small but cool looking. And then these things, I think they're drones. There's 8 of them in 4 different poses. Is that right? Did I get that right? It might be 8 in 2 different poses. No, 8 in 4 poses. So these are a little bit bigger. There's 4 poses. And then these are the adults. Why don't I check this booklet again? There's 36 of them in 6 different poses. That's why they came in all those different bags. Each bag was a slightly different pose. So I've just got them all mixed up. But that's kind of cool that if you grab these at random out of here, they'll be a little bit different as you grab them. So I just didn't fully appreciate that. And I think that is neat. And minis are not really my thing, but I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. So we're going to take this. This is the top layer. It's going to sit right here. And because I've done the layer under this certainly wrong, I'm going to have some lid lift. There may be a way to assemble this without lid lift, but I have not figured it out. There was no tray instructions here. So now I'm going to take these 3 items and put them here with the rule book on top, and then take the box and place the lid on it. Let's see what the lid lift situation is. Almost zero lid lift, but there is some. And again, I think that's my own looks worse than it is when I tilt it like that. I think that's my own just misunderstanding of where to store some of that stuff. But if I don't get it, I'm sure some other people don't get it too. Then again, there's probably a lot of people out there who had no trouble putting that stuff away. So if you know what I'm doing wrong, let me know in the comments. That would be helpful for not just me, but I'm sure other people as well. But in any case, that's a reboxing to the best of my ability at this time. But yeah, I am pretty excited to check this out. It is significantly different than the previous Nemesis games, and I think it's an interesting change. I haven't yet made a video, I intend to, where I compare Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown, and maybe I'll just throw Nemesis Retaliation into the same video at that time, but without having played this, and without having put Lockdown on the channel at all yet, I feel like Lockdown is very similar to Nemesis with additional mechanics that raise the complexity and potentially the randomness. And some people will like that and some people won't. I don't know if that's necessarily to my taste personally. Whereas this is just, this is going to play different. It's mechanically really different. Building out the map is different. The way you take damage is different. The way you move around is different. It's just, this is a different take on the same game. And I think it's going to be a big leap compared to Nemesis to Lockdown. I think Nemesis to Retaliation is just, it's a whole different animal, and I'm really excited to find out what's in here. So there you go. Those are my initial impressions, and my intent is to get the rules refresher for Nemesis Retaliation as well as a solo playthrough video out this year. I'm recording this towards the end of 2025, so I would like to get that out before this calendar year is up. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Leave a like if this is a game you're interested in. I've done a lot of Nemesis content this year, but I do plan on doing more of it next year, including some Lockdown stuff, because I haven't had the opportunity to show that yet. So be sure to keep an eye on the channel if that's something you'd like to see. But that's what I've got this time on Table for One. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next video.